Hello, welcome to day 2 of my special Christmas posts, focusing on how to photograph your family over the Christmas season. Now, yesterday I showed you some fantastic card templates. I get several people ask me about how to use Photoshop and Photoshop Elements, so I thought I'd combine those two things today in a movie so that you can see for yourselves how easy it is to use Photoshop and use card templates. Everybody can do this. Now I have Photoshop, but these things will work equally well in Photoshop Elements. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up a few card templates that I have for you to see. So here we go. There's a couple here of my own and a couple from other people. And let's have a look. Let's use one by Rebecca Cooper. She's a great photographer in Canada and she's designed some really cute holiday card templates. Okay, so we've opened our templates. I know by looking over here in the layers palette that these grey boxes indicate somewhere where a photograph needs to go. If I look over here in the layers palette, I can see that I need 1, 2, 3 images. Okay, I can tell here my Photoshop's telling me that I don't have this font. That's what that little box means, but I have the font for happy. That's really not going to make a problem because I don't need to change any of these fonts at all. What I will need to do is change from the Smiths to the Beales and then obviously the name at the bottom. So maybe I'll just go ahead and start with that. So let's have a look. I need to choose something here that's there we go. So that one's changed. And this font here, I don't believe I have this one. So they're going to substitute something for me. I'm happy with that. We could go for something a little bit different, but just wanted to show you quickly. So there we go, from the Beales. Okay, so we've changed the fonts. I want to check on the size of this image. I ideally would like a 4x6 card because I know that's going to fit in with my Christmas cards. I believe that this is a 5x7 though. I'm going to check that by going to image and image size, and when I look here, I don't know why I always do photographs in inches, it's just the traditional way of doing things. I know that this is actually 7 inches in width and 5 in height. That's going to be fine for today. But just to let you know that, you won't want to take this and then go and try to print it out as a 4x6 because some major cropping will occur and it just won't look as good. So if I'm going to go and print this, I'll need to print it as a 5x7. Okay, so I'm going to open a couple of pictures. One's of us, obviously, as a family. I'll put in a fun one and a sensible one, and then this fun one of Jeremy Taylor. So I'm going to open those. They'll all open up in Photoshop automatically. Okay, I'm going to change my view so that I can see all of them at the same time, and I'm literally just going to use the move tool, select each one and then drag it over. Select and drag it in, select and drag it in. Okay, if I look over here, I can see, I'll just go to one image so that we're focusing on here. I can see that my photographs have dropped themselves in the middle of my layers. I'm actually just going to move them up and I'm going to position them above each of the 3 photo boxes. Okay, so we'll start with this top one. I'm going to view it and we're going to go fit on screen so that we can see how big this image is, and we're going to resize it so that it's going to fit nicely in that grey box. Okay, what's really important when you're resizing is that you constrain the proportions. You make sure that your image isn't going to be distorted. It's really essential. Okay, and then I'm going to check OK. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to create the clipping mask so that this photograph fits nicely within this card template. So my photograph is already positioned above. I'm going to right click with my mouse, a new menu pops up. I'm going to go down to create clipping mask. Now that photograph has now shaped itself or moulded itself exactly to the shape beneath. Okay, I'm actually going to do that with the next two as well. Right click, clipping mask, right click and clipping mask. I just find that that's a little bit easier and I know what I'm working with now. I can see easily where my photograph is. Okay, one really important thing to remember, as well as constraining the proportions of your image, is to make sure that your image is going to fit really nicely centrally or however you want to position it inside the box. You don't want it to be too far over because you're going to see the box behind. Okay, it's like a window. And make sure that your photograph is sitting really well within that window. The other thing I want to do is I don't want my photograph, any images to be too close to the edge of the photograph, because then when the photograph is printed out, some clipping might occur and the key elements of my photograph are going to be missed. Okay, so we know that the proportions are constrained and I'm happy with that size. Finally, the last photograph I have, just slide it with the move tool. Go, constrain those proportions again, move it into place. Yes, I'm happy with that. It's a little bit bigger than this photograph and that's fine. Okay, so I'm happy with that size. Happy holidays and all the best in 2012. Much love from the Beales, with our names at the bottom. So if I'm going to go and print this out now, I need to flatten it. My printer's not going to print this type of file. This is a PSD file, it's a Photoshop file. I want a JPEG file, so I need to flatten all of these layers into one. There it is, and then File and Save As, and probably save it onto my desktop as Rebecca Cooper 5x7 Christmas card. And then I'll know exactly where to find it. I need to make sure again that it was a JPEG, not a Photoshop. I know exactly where to find it. I can pop it onto my memory stick and I can take it along to my printers. Okay, really important when I take it to my printers is that I do a test print first. I found this year with my own cards that I did that there's our file in its JPEG form. I took my cards and there was some terrible clipping, the colours weren't great, and I just spoke to the technician and they reprinted for me for free, which was fantastic. So anyway, I hope that you found that easy to do. I mean, if you have any questions, please just send me an email. I'll be happy to go through them with you. But it just goes to show how simple it is to use clipping masks and photo templates in Photoshop. I hope you've enjoyed this, and don't forget to check in tomorrow for another fantastic lesson on how to photograph your family with the 12 Posts of Christmas.